Thank you. Now I don't have to shout.
You can if you like.
No.
You can do whatever you want.
Thank you. So,
Mike, for the people joining us for the first time who might not know you, do you want to tell us where they would know you from?
oh, okay. Well, let's see.
A little bit.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're. I mean, some of you might be sitting here because it's somewhere to sit. I don't know, but
I'm
some
sure
of
most of them do know who you are. But
okay, but if you don't know, I'm a puppeteer, creature performer, voice actor, animator.
We're talking Star Wars, Muppets, Dark
Yes,
Crystal.
Star Wars, Muppets,
Some very
Dark
cool
Crystal,
stuff.
Labyrinth,
going on
yeah, stuff like that. So that's what I do basically. I'm a puppeteer and animator and actor and that kind of thing. So
You've been in Star Wars, haven't you? Which is
the
impressive.
Star Wars.
The Star Wars.
The
Star Wars.
Yes. So yes.
So, are you have any? Have you got any plans to do any more Star Wars? Are we going to see you in any more? Is there anything you can tell us?
There's probably nothing I can tell you, but there's still puppets around, just less of them. But I knew that puppetry would never go away. It's been around for, 1,000 years plus at least. So it's an art.
Yeah,
It's a very sad story.
Is it? Oh no.
It's a very sad. Yeah, do you want to be? It's very sad. When I was a little boy, a little young lad, I was very lonely, and I had this teddy bear, and I didn't have any friends, so he was my friend, and I wanted him to talk back to me, so I made him move like a puppet.
That's actually a fabulous story.
That might be.
Maybe it's just because I had
That
that
might
kind
have
of
been my
childhood.
first. So,
But it didn't end like yours, with actually
No.
having a fabulous job.
so that teddy bear no longer exists, sadly. He's gone
Okay.
to teddy bear heaven. But now I have all these puppets that are my friends. So
What was the first puppeteering job that you did then?
first puppet, actual paid real job was I made sure I got hired by Jim Henson. I was a big fan of the Muppet Show, which was 1976 to 80 here in the UK. So I sort of stalked Jim Henson for a while, from 77 through to 80, and eventually he said, well, you're here all the time, I might as well give you a job. So I started on the Great Muppet Caper. That was my first puppet job, learning under Jim Henson and Frank Oz and
That's got to be the way to learn, isn't it?
all the fantastic Muppet guys. Yeah, they
And
were
Jim
great.
Henson is a name I think everybody will recognise.
Yeah.
Anybody.
So I learned so much in those first couple of years on Muppet Caper, then Dark Crystal, which then led into Return of the Jedi. So I covered all sort of the basic Muppet things, but also the creature performing as well. And that's the kind of skills I'm using to this day still, 43 years later. Which is crazy because I'm only 35.
Yeah, how have you managed that?
Huh? Huh?
Magic powers. So what's been your favourite thing to work on, do you think, or do you not like to have favourites?
It's usually the last, someone asked me that earlier, it's usually the last thing I've worked on because it's the freshest in my memory and I'm excited about it. And
Yeah.
it's, often it's not out yet, so I'm kind of like super
Not say too
excited
much.
to see this baby being born. But one of the favourite things is when we work with Muppets and we get to work with musicians and do songs, and especially if we do Rainbow Connection. That's always a nice treat for us all. So
Yeah.
there are favourites in that respect, I think. And Muppets was my first love too. So yes.
Is there anything that you haven't done yet that you'd really like to do? Any franchises you'd like to be involved in, or?
All of them, yes.
All of
Actually,
them,
you know
yeah.
what? Doctor Who, actually. I still
Yes,
haven't done.
we need to
everyone-
have you on
All my
Doctor Who,
mates have all
yes.
done Doctor Who, and it's like, why have I not done Doctor
I
Who
know,
yet?
that is
What's
a
wrong?
huge one. I'm a huge Doctor Who
So
fan,
I do need to do that. So yeah,
Yes,
big time.
definitely. Get that out there, yeah.
Yeah. So
It's available, Doctor Who.
yeah, it's not fair, is it?
It's not, no.
So
Everybody-
I grew up with that, of course, as a kid. I remember this
Yes.
I'm old enough to remember the second Doctor Who, Patrick Troughton, as a kid. So I love the Daleks and all
Yes.
the creatures. So
Would you like to
I need
be
to
a
get on
Dalek?
that.
Would you like to drive
I
one
would
of
love
them?
to. I would love to.
That would be good.
But I
wouldn't it?
need to get over there.
Yeah, you need to
Cardiff.
stalk them like you did Jim Henson.
I think I do need to do.
think
This is
that's
where
the
I'm
way.
going wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the perseverance. You started off with the
See,
perseverance.
you
and-
can't wait
yeah.
for them to come to you. You have to go to them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. So when that happens, I'll have you to thank.
Keep telling them. Yeah, we'll keep telling them on all the fan pages. You know who you need.
You know, come on.
For your aliens, you know who you need.
All my buddies have worked on it except me, so it's
Oh no.
lame, isn't it? It's very lame.
Yeah, you've got to do it now.
Maybe they'll have a teddy bear that comes to life and kills people. What do you think?
Definitely.
Or have they done that already?
I don't think we've done a teddy bear, have we?
Okay, from Doctor Who, that would be full circle for me, wouldn't it, when you think about it?
Yes, you could base it on your first teddy bear, couldn't you? Yes.
Giving them ideas now.
That's always good. That's always good. So has anybody in the audience got any questions?
Yeah, I can bring it
Yeah,
out.
just bring the mic up to you.
Let's see how
So
long
we
this
can-
goes, because
He
it
has-
might.
If
it
it'll
might.
go far enough, which it doesn't
Let's
look get
see.
stuck.
Let's see.
Hopefully you have about 10 questions.
Oh my god, this is amazing. It's got such length. Oh my gosh.
Are you planning to do a chicken one too? Are you in it?
Which two, sorry?
Chicken one too.
What's that? I don't know what that is. What?
Mel Gibson was Mel Gibson was the rooster in the chicken one, and then now they've done a second one. So I was wondering if you was in it.
I'm not in that, strangely enough. I should be, though. I wasn't in the first one.
Because there've been a lot of new people because the original sets got destroyed, so they needed new people to make all the new sets.
You know what? Yeah, I think I missed out on that. Maybe the third one, huh?
They might be doing a third one.
Yeah, I need to get in on that. Sadly, yes. That'd be fun, though.
I'm gonna hover here just in case.
Hover, yes.
Anybody else?
No.
Must have
Here's
said
one at the
this
front.
young man at the front here. This
Yeah.
gentleman.
Come down.
Is it a Star Wars
Try
question? Is it a
not to
Muppet
trip.
question? Is it a puppet question or a creature question?
What was your favourite? What was your favourite film to be in?
Oh gosh, favorite film to be in. Let's see. The first three were always special for me for different reasons, but it's so hard to pick a favorite. But when Empire Strikes Back came out, I was a big fan of Yoda. You know, that was his first ever appearance. And he was sort of the first creature puppet as well, you know. It's sort of like a Muppet, but he wasn't. And so when Return of the Jedi happened, I was a fan of the first two films. So can you imagine, you know, walking on set and seeing what's going to happen in the final installment? And I got to help with Yoda as well, assist on Yoda. So it was kind of magical for me. And seeing Han Solo come out of carbonite, you know, all that, and go on the ships and walk around Dagobah, and it was amazing. So that has a lot of good memories. Very exciting, as you can imagine. You know, everything looked so real, even though it wasn't. It looked real. Yeah, it's great.
It didn't ruin the magic for you at all, then,
No,
knowing
no.
how everything works.
The thing is, for me, I mean, for some people it might, I don't know, but for me, I always liked to know how things worked, and you know, I liked all the documentaries about how things were made. When I was 2 years old, apparently, I unscrewed the back of the television set. I guess I wanted to either...
That sounds extremely dangerous.
It was, because
You're
back
still
then
here,
it was all
though.
the valves, and it was all the old, you know, black and white TVs and stuff. I think I wanted to see the people inside, or maybe I wanted to be in TV, I don't know. But apparently my mother came in and found me tinkering around inside the back of the TV. Somehow I'd got the screws open. So I like knowing how things are done, you know.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Do you like tinkering at home with things and making things?
I
and
do a little
seeing
bit,
things,
yeah, sometimes, yeah. Experimenting.
Because puppeteering and engineering is it's a type of engineering, isn't it?
It can be, especially the construction of puppets in creatures and things, which I've done a bit of as well.
Yeah, it's
So-
quite a technical thing, isn't it? It's an
yeah.
art, but it's a technical art.
It can be,
isn't
yeah.
it? Yeah.
Well, in some ways, I like to think of the puppet as like a musical instrument, and then performing the puppet is like playing that instrument.
Yeah.
And so it's like a technique. You want to get to the point where you're not thinking about it. You can just perform, you know. Kind of like, I mean, like when you drive a car, right? You don't think about the technicalities anymore. You just drive the car and think about what you're going to have for dinner or whatever. So it's like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Second
Synergy
nature.
As a music.
Yeah, or even
instrument,
walking,
yes.
you know, kind of don't really think about it. But there's a lot of walking is a technique, I think.
Yes, this one I can foul up
Yeah.
quite easily. Yeah.
We've got a
Sitting
question
down,
over here.
sitting
Always
down is
get
also
it.
a technique.
Yes.
You have to get up again. That's the problem.
Yes, that's it. So
But
it's all right if
anyway.
it's a chair, not if it's the floor.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
I
yeah.
have to have a plan of action if I'm going to get back
We've all
up off the
been
floor
there.
now.
We've got another question over here.
Oh, nice. Okay, good. What have we got?
What or who inspired you to get into like puppeteering?
What a...
What or who inspired you to get into
What or who?
puppeteering?
When I was a kid, there were a lot of puppet shows on TV anyway, so I kind of liked those. And animation, I was actually a big Disney fan when I was a kid, probably more than puppets. So I was doing a lot of drawing and thought, well, maybe I'd be a cartoonist or an animator. But then when Muppet Show came along in '76, so how old would I be, like 12 or something? They were like cartoons, but in real time, real life cartoons. And so I became obsessed with these crazy things. And that kind of like, a light bulb went on in my little brain. And I thought, oh, what's going on here? How are they doing these things? How are they made? And I had no idea. So I sort of obsessed and learned as much as I could about them. And that's when I first met Jim Henson in '77, a year later, and used to visit the Muppet Show. And from that moment, there was really no looking back. Not being a puppeteer was not an option at that point. So I'd build puppets at home with my pocket money and out of foam and fur and practice in front of a mirror. So it was really Jim Henson and his Muppets that really kind of got me to the next level. I thought, this is what I want to do. And my school thought, you're crazy. They just gave up on me. They were like, we can't help you anymore. Do what you need to do. See ya. So, yeah. I was lucky, though, that happened at the time when it did. Timing is really important. But I also went out of my way to make it happen, too. So.
How do you feel now that you're probably an inspiration to people? I'm sure you are. Do you get people asking you for advice in this
quite
field?
a lot, actually. It's quite good in a way because I never sort of had that, when I was starting, there was no way, I didn't know how to start it and get a job, or there wasn't anywhere to go. To learn puppetry, learn film and TV puppetry, there was nothing back then. Most puppetry was like live shows, that kind of thing, and glove puppets and marionettes. So now I have an online puppetry academy.
Fantastic.
Which is all stuff that either I'd learned on the films and shows, or had learned from Jim and Frank themselves. And so I created this because it's what I wished that I'd had, when I was starting out.
That's really brilliant, yeah. That's a really
I've
good
got a lot
thing.
of students in there, and a couple of Muppet guys are in there too.
Oh, brilliant.
Jack Black's wife is in there. She's a puppeteer.
Fab. Is
So
she?
yeah,
I
she's
did
in
not
the
know this.
academy. So it's
Yeah.
called Secrets of Puppetry.
Wow.
So, yes, highly recommended, of course, by all my students.
What's the most sort of popular question that you get asked, and something you get asked a lot? Or is
Let's
everybody
see.
very different when they ask things?
Yeah, like what's Mark Hamill like? What's Harrison Ford like? What's George Lucas like? What's
The
it
Star
like being
Wars
in Star
questions,
Wars?
yeah, the Star Wars questions.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what would I do if I wasn't a puppeteer?
Yeah, what would you do if you weren't a puppeteer?
I'd
It's a
do
good
your
question.
job, I
Yeah, my job.
Yeah, I'll
Do
do
my
whatever you
job.
do, because you get to wear all this cool stuff.
We do.
So that's
It is
what I
fun.
would do.
It is fun.
All that.
That's like being a human puppet.
Yeah.
I'm just moving
Yeah.
myself.
Right?
I've got 2 more questions.
Two more. Oh,
Two more
goody.
questions.
Okay,
Oh,
I love it. I
fantastic.
love it.
2 more? Hang on.
That's good.
Get more creative as I'm passing the mic.
Nice. Yes.
When you worked with Muppets, which Muppet was like your favourite to work with?
Ooh, good question.
That's a more interesting question than
That's-
what's
yeah,
Mark
so
Hamill
which
like. It's a
Muppet,
better question. Which
Yeah.
Muppet?
I had favourite characters, but that I enjoyed. But to me, working there was often background characters that would just sort of, be walking. They'd be in the background of a shot, or walking past, or they'd be an incidental, whatever Muppet. They'd call them whatnots, and they'd be sort of these generic characters. And when you had one of those on, you could do anything you wanted. You had to make stuff up and be funny and try and upstage. So if Kermit and Fozzie were in the front or whatever, you'd be with these guys in the back trying to do something really stupid and hoping that Jim and Frank wouldn't notice, and be quite naughty with them in a way sometimes. So yeah, that's kind of a thing that sometimes if you watch Muppets, see what they're doing in the background, and it can be quite funny. There was one character I had. It was the last. It wasn't even my character, but it was the last Muppet series that we did with ABC. It was before the lockdown and everything. And Kermit and Gonzo, I think, were in the front, and I had this guy in the back. He was at his desk, and I'd worked out that I could ball up some post-it notes, and he had a little ruler, and I was trying to flick these papers at different Muppets in the foreground, and I got away with it. Nobody ever noticed. It's crazy, isn't it? So that kind of thing can be fun. Things that you can just play around with. You've got your chickens and your pigs and your penguins and rats. Rats are always fun. Muppet rats. So yeah, it's a hard one though.
I like the Muppet fruit and veg sometimes.
Fruit
the
and
singing
veg, I've
fruit and veg,
done
that's like,
some
you
of those.
watch them. The more you
Yes.
watch an episode of something, the more you see
Yes.
all the films, the more you see all the little background characters and what they're doing.
There's a-
So we
there's
do
a-
see it, the audience, we do
That's
see
true.
what you're doing.
There's a shot in the
you know.
Muppet Christmas Carol where the Swedish chef lifts up 2 lids, and there's singing vegetables underneath, and I think I'm the one on the camera left saying la 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 la.
That is brilliant. That's one of
when
everybody's
you see it
favourite
again,
Christmas
that's
movies.
me.
Yeah, I'll be able to go, "Yeah, I know them.
Yeah. But
I know that
those are the
vegetable.
fun things.
And then when you worked on Labyrinth, did you actually get to meet David Bowie?
Yeah, Labyrinth, David Bowie. Oh my goodness, yeah, absolutely. He was really good. He was actually a lot of fun. He was on set a lot, of course, as you can imagine. And he used to laugh at what he called his Tina Turner wig back then. This was '85 is when we shot it. And he was laughing at all the things we were doing and working hard, and he was very professional, very down to earth, chain smoker, so, oh lads, how's it going? You all right today? All that kind of very normal guy, and also worked with him on the music videos that we did as well, separately after the film was done. So I got to play the junk woman in the Underground music video, where he was more as himself in that, not as Jareth. But he was great. There was one thing I did on Labyrinth, and I thought I was going to get fired. It was the first.
Sounds like a good story.
It's a good, yeah. It's the first scene where he first meets Sarah in the bedroom when she calls the Goblin King, and it was sort of also their first big scene together as well. And we had all the goblins hiding in different parts of the furniture and under the bed and drawers and things like that, where they pop out later on in the scene. So in the 1960s, David Bowie had a novelty song called Laughing Gnome, where he had this little sped up voice, and it was, ha ha ha, hee hee, I'm a laughing gnome and you can't catch me, like that. So it was, I guess, a hit for him back then, I don't know. So I got the sound guy to randomly play this on set as they were rehearsing the scene, and he went along with it, and I thought, oh my goodness me, and they're talking about thousands of pounds a minute, on set for these kind of things. So every little joke, how much is that costing production? So sure enough, he played it in, and we all popped out and started singing this song, and because Bowie sort of turned bright red, and he laughed, Jim Henson laughed, and we all got it out of our system and moved on with our lives. But and it was like nothing was ever said
Without
about it
getting
ever
fired,
again.
yeah.
But he was a good sport. So a little David Bowie story.
That's fantastic.
He was awesome. He was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fantastic. One of those films again, like Dark Crystal, that just lives forever, isn't it? And I
Yeah.
think a lot of the films with the puppets in do.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
don't age, do they? The fantasy films
So
don't age.
if you know, I don't know how well you know Labyrinth, but there was another naughty thing we did on set. When they finally, who is it? I think is it Ludo, Sarah, and Sir Didymus. They arrive at the front. They've gone through the Goblin Village already, and they arrive at the sort of castle front door. And just before the crew they were finishing up filming another bit, and so us puppeteers had time on our hands. So we thought, let's steal 2 milk bottles from the canteen and put them on the doorstep. Like, okay, it's a big giant castle and there's 2 little milk bottles,
2 bottles of milk.
We thought that was funny, and that, people would see it, have a laugh, remove it for when they came to film. but for some reason they just stayed there, and you could see them in the movie, two little milk.
I'm gonna go
bottles
look
on the
for
doorstep.
those
Yeah,
now.
yeah. They're not supposed to be there. So there you go.
Got another
Got another
question over
question?
here.
What were like your family's opinions when you said like puppeteering was what you wanted to do for this?
What my family's opinions on it? They kind of just left me to it. I mean, I think they'd given up on me as well at that point. So it's like, yeah, just I guess let him do this, and then he can get a proper job afterwards. I don't know. So they weren't really paying that much attention to me, which perhaps was quite good because they weren't then able to talk me out of it. So, and I don't know if they all fully understood quite what was going on, or what, I was 16, so I think they were all a bit surprised when it all actually started happening. Like, what's going on here? So, yeah, I mean, I was going to do it anyway, whether they approved or not, but they kind of supported me, I guess.
That's brilliant though, isn't it? Because they could have just gone, what are you doing?
Well, yeah.
A lot of people's artistic people's story is that I had
You're
to fight
crazy.
against
There's
people
no way
saying,
that- yeah.
don't do this.
Yeah,
whereas
and that's anytime someone says you can't do that, and then it's
yeah,
like,
do it 3 times more.
Watch
yeah.
me.
Yeah, watch me, hold my beer. Yeah.
Yeah, whenever that's always like, okay,
Yeah.
challenge accepted.
Yeah, exactly.
You
yeah.
can't do that.
And we're very lucky that you did.
Oh, thank you.
Because
Well, I am,
think we
for
are.
sure.
Yeah.
The thing is, I was saying to someone the other day, I could try and get a regular job, but if I could even get hired in the first place, they'd fire me after a week. I'm not employable, I think. I don't know.
I think if you can think for yourself,
I should
it's
try it
always,
as an
you have
experiment,
to.
though. Just and
Try it as an experiment,
vlog
yeah.
it, put it on the internet.
Well, somebody could film it for
Yeah.
Channel 4 or
I think that
something,
would
couldn't
be
they? Yeah, or
amazing.
BBC or someone could
Could-
come down and do it like
could
an
Mike Quinn
undercover.
get a
Mike
regular
Quinn.
job?
It'd be like Undercover Boss, but you'd be like going in with a wig. And,
Can I hold
yeah.
a job down for a full week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can come and work for
I'll
me.
try. I would
I
try.
work at a well-known supermarket. You can come and
Yeah,
work for
see,
me.
exactly, something like that.
Take that,
I'd
take
love
you
that.
on and see
Thing
how-
is, I think I'd quite enjoy that.
Yeah,
for a bit.
I think if you have the pressure of not having to stay and not having to worry about whether you get
Yeah.
fired or not, it would be enjoyable, wouldn't it?
I suppose. It's a scary thought, isn't it?
It is. It is.
So
I think
if you see me at
artistic
your
people-
local Morrison's, packing up putting
Yeah,
beans
I'd
on
be
some
like,
shelves,
"You look
be
just
kind to
like."
me. Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, he used to be somebody. Yeah, how they've fallen.
How's this happen? Yeah.
Be fun though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think artistic people have to be artistic though, or you just go
Well,
crazy,
I'd
wouldn't
probably
you?
create the beans to make a shape of a face or something, on the
Yeah.
shelves. See, that would get me fired. Like, what are you doing? But this is so nice.
Have to express yourself. Yeah.
Don't touch
That's-
that can. It's the eye.
You can't buy that one. Buy
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah, that's just the ear. We don't need that.
There's a system. Don't.
Yeah.
Have we got any more questions?
Any more for any more?
I've got a question. How did you get lumbered doing this today?
Well, I volunteered.
You volunteered.
I volunteered.
Wow. I'm so sorry.
This is my first time interviewing somebody who wasn't already a friend, but you are. now.
Amazing. There you go. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For all the help.
Excellent. And it's also your last, isn't it?
Probably now, yeah. He's coming to have security remove me. I didn't
Yeah.
say you could do that.
Thank you. I do appreciate it.
Thank you for coming to
yeah.
Unleashed and for talking to us all.
My goodness, my first
And
time
for-
in Hull. How about
It is
that?
it? Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So nice.
And you enjoying it?
Beautiful sunny Hull. It's fantastic.
It is
very,
nice today.
Very vibrant and lively. So yeah,
It's a
very
lovely
happy.
venue. I've seen
Yeah.
you've been very busy. You've got a lot of people
Yeah,
coming
it's
over
great.
and
Everyone's
chatting.
really
and-
nice.
Yeah, that's lovely.
You haven't come over and chatted.
I
though.
haven't. Oh, I've been busy.
Oh, okay.
I've got an excuse. I've been busy.
Nice. So yes, we got our friends over there signing.
Yep.
Clem and Paul. So classic actors and performers from various movies and shows. If you haven't already said hello, say hello to them.
Yeah, say hello. Are you up for grabbing selfies with? Are you alright for grabbing selfies at your store? Or do you prefer?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. People
Yes.
can come over and chat
Yes,
to
we're
you.
doing,
and,
we're doing all that. Doing all the
autographs
things. I
and
thought you meant
selfies
you
and-
now.
Yes.
Like, oh, I guess.
We're here, yeah.
That's tradition though with the host. They take a selfie with the person they've interviewed.
Yeah.
So
We should do that.
should do that,
We
I
don't do
think.
that, do we?
that is like a
Yes.
tradition, isn't it? Everyone.
It is. Yes.
Yes. See?
Everybody come up.
There
Yeah,
you
go on, come up, come
So
on.
we should do
come
that.
And do it. Yeah.
Do it. It's very
Three of us.
selfless selfie.
Let's have a selfie. Let's have a quick
Here we
selfie.
go.
We might want to put the mics up.
Oh.
That's brilliant.
There we go, a first.
There,
It's a
see?
new tradition born today.
Yes. So, yeah. Okay. What else? What else? There must be something like burning.
question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like what's for dinner or a smoked
Yes.
salmon, I think, by the way.
Yes, what is your favourite
Excellent.
food? We need to know.
Favourite food. Oh,
Yes.
favourite food. You can't beat a good roast lunch.
Be British.
You know.
Good roast.
I have a-
Gravy, Yorkshire potato, Yorkshire puddings,
I know,
roast
I-
potatoes.
I do have a weakness. I have a weakness for lamb. You know,
Oh, lamb,
which is
yes.
very difficult when you're trying to be a vegetarian, and it's like
yes,
there's a little.
I can see that.
I don't know. And yeah, food is food. Good fish and chips can sometimes be the best food in the world.
So you like my dad, yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
He's
the
the same,
basics.
that's the best food
eggs,
ever.
Anything with eggs on there.
Anything with eggs. What about desserts? Are you an ice cream? Are you a sweet or a savoury man?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Whatever.
If it's,
yes.
If it's food, yes.
I'm a bit like that. Sometimes you're in the mood for one, and
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
there
Oh,
isn't
yeah, ice
necessarily
cream.
one answer to that.
Yeah,
Is there?
yeah. I don't have ice cream that often, but I did have a really bad sort of hankering for one the other week, and finally made my way through a nice pint of Ben and Jerry's in rather quick time, I must say. Very sad.
I can understand how that happens. Yes.
So I like cooking now too.
You like
so,
cooking?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
Another technical thing. It can
Yes.
be, can't it?
It can be,
Can be
yeah.
quite
Which is,
technical.
it's
Another art
creative though.
form.
It's like you're getting all these raw ingredients and then creating something. So I enjoy the process of it, and then the reward at the end
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, so it's another
Like-
art form in itself,
like
isn't it?
laundry. You know, it's such a fun. Isn't laundry so much fun to gather up and put in the.
I'm going.
Isn't it? And then you get to, it all smells fresh, and then you get to like put it away and organise it all. How cool
People
is
do
that?
that. People do that.
Make your bed. How amazing is that? Ironing. Oh my God, ironing is the best thing ever.
Oh, well,
isn't
if
it?
you like ironing, you can do mine.
Yeah. I mean, everybody loves ironing, don't they?
No.
We're going to get a boo.
No.
Everybody. Even those people up there. Cardboard cutouts.
Cardboard cutouts.
Make it look like more people.
So what's next? Can you tell us what you're doing at the moment? What's next for you? Or?
Let's see. We did a film that should be coming out soon, a year ago, with Matt Smith, a sort of a psychological horror film, Matt Smith and Morford Clark. Which I can say that because it was advertised in the press, so I can mention that.
Yes.
That should be out at some point this year, because that was a year ago. I am working on things at the moment that I'm not allowed to say, but you could probably guess.
Very hush hush.
Yeah. Hush hush things. Yes.
So it's good. Very busy at the moment, though. Very
That's good, though.
exciting.
That's
Very
good,
exciting. Yeah.
And that you've taken time out to come and see us, despite being busy.
Well, they said, leave us alone, they stop stalking us, go away and get a life. So I came here instead. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I think that's about our time now. We've
No
got
way, that's all.
our
Brilliant,
cosplay
thank
masquerade coming up, so thank you very much.
Thank you
you
very
for
much.
coming.
Ladies
and
and
may the
gentlemen,
force be
Mike
with you.
Quinn.
Indeed.
Mike Quinn, everyone.
Thank you.
Woo!
Thank you very
Hull
much.
Unleashed. Woohoo! Have fun.